welcome to a new series on my channel, Aging Well for Women Over 40. It's going to be based on this book here from Mayo Clinic Press, Ageless Aging by longevity expert Maddy Dychtwald. Now, I did film a video already to share a little bit more about Maddy and why we want to learn from her, so I'll link that down below. But she is someone who has a unique perspective, not only being a woman who is aging, but someone who has decades worth of experience on women and aging based on her own research. So she is an author and a speaker, but also a researcher and a social scientist on longevity in the aging population. But she has been involved with pretty landmark research regarding women and things outside of just when you think of health span or brain span that she talks about in the book here with our cognitive abilities or our mental health and our physical health. And she has this holistic approach that she wants to help us customize a plan to look at things outside of just our health, but also things like our finances and housing and sense of purpose. So this holistic approach that I really haven't seen a lot of other longevity experts cover, especially with regards to us as women who are aging. So I was excited to form this kind of online book club with you guys, so all of us will get the book. And what I'll do is just each chapter I'll sit down and share with you my key takeaways from the book. So today I want to share with you my key takeaways from the introductory chapter that Maddy has titled The Longevity Bonus. Now, early on in the chapter, she shares some statistics. As far as 100 years ago, our average lifespan was about 47 years old. And by the end of the century, we were living an additional 3 decades longer to around the age of 79, and that makes sense given the advancements in medicine and technology and things like that. Now, Maddy mentioned that we as women live typically around 6 years longer than men. That's what she calls the longevity bonus. So that's the title of this introductory chapter. But one thing that I thought was pretty sobering when I was reading this chapter was she talked about, yes, we do live longer, but a lot of the times us women, the last decade or so of our life, we're not necessarily living well. Where we're dealing with some degenerative diseases such as cancer and diabetes and heart disease and things like that. In fact, in this first chapter, she talks about how us as women, long before we may reach our final years of our life, that we are often worrying about outliving our money and the care that we may require. And I think those things are so valid, and I don't necessarily see a ton of people talking about that as us, again, as women experiencing that. But Maddy wants to help us not have the downsized aging, things like that, crowd out the upsides. And there are upsides, right? The wisdom that comes from aging that we just can't get until we grow older, the experience that we have, the resiliency that we build, things like that. And largely, there's a bunch of lifestyle factors that we can have control over, that we can change, and that we can customize for ourselves. Again, in this book, she helps us do that to be able to age well. In fact, she believes that us women should be leading the longevity revolution because, obviously we're the ones that live longer. I just really appreciate her passion in helping us as women to age well. Now, in this introductory chapter, she does share the information regarding her own personal journey with aging, and I really love how candid she is. Actually, she talks about her own journey with having to have surgery on both hips, despite leading a healthy lifestyle due to a genetic hip dysplasia, I believe is what it was. But she was very frank and just said, hey, all of us, when we get to be 40s, or in our 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, we've seen some stuff, right? We've lived through some stuff. And the good news is, we can build our resiliency from that, and we grow as a person from that. But she recognizes that. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. But I appreciate she shares her own personal journey. But again, the collective wisdom of the people and the experts that she's had access to in her own research that she's done, and the decades worth of experience where she's dedicated so much of her personal and professional life to this and helping us age well. She's going to help us be able to create this customized plan with her book. Now, you guys, you can get the book on Maddy's website. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Mayo Clinic's website. But I want to tell you, I don't know how long it might be there, but Maddy has some really neat bonuses that if you go to her website, you just put in your order number and you'll be able to download, including the finances that I mentioned, some bonus material that she has. So my key takeaways from this introductory chapter was that our health span doesn't necessarily match up with our lifespan. And obviously the resources that Maddy shares in our book is going to help us to change that. And so these downsides that we might be currently afraid of, being afraid to get older, can be something that we look at very differently because we're going to experience aging very differently. You guys, even in chapter 1, there's something that's really neat that I can't wait for you to have the book in front of you if you don't already have it, because there's an assessment tool. And Maddy talks about us aging as an ascent, that it doesn't have to be something where we're just deteriorating. But the assessment that she created that we'll go over in chapter 1 is you'll look through there and you will see some things that you might be doing that are accelerating your aging. There might be things that you're doing that are slowing your aging. And there's some things that you might have some aha moments, or there just might be some things that are friendly reminders that you already knew. But I thought it was a pretty useful tool that we will cover next. So the next video I'll just share with you my key takeaways from chapter 1. We'll kind of just work through the book together that way. So again, I look forward to working through this book with you and all of us each creating our own customized individual plan to age well. I appreciate you letting me share this with you, and I will see you guys in the next video.